Well, we're still at Heber, and I'm still numb from the Novocaine from last week. Because for us, it's only been a few minutes. We're just arriving over here at the train, and we're going to ride the train just down to the reservoir and back, because we figure while we're in Heber, let's ride the train.
Yes.
And so we're going to. So we've done that show before on the Heber Creeper. It's so neat, but it's springtime and everything's beautiful. So we're going to ride the train. So do check this out. And hopefully the Novocaine won't wear off.
Won't wear off.
Won't wear off.
The Heber Valley is sure spectacular.
I love it.
It looks a lot like Switzerland.
Wow, I've never been to Switzerland, but I'll take your word for that.
Well, a lot of Swiss people moved here, so they must have thought it looked like Switzerland as well.
That's why they came.
Anyway, it's always been home to a railroad. Originally, the Rio Grande came up here, and now that's been split off as the Heber Valley Railroad. Now, last week we were over at the Dairy Keene looking at what Steve is creating over there with their model railroad and so on. That was a fun show.
And the food isn't bad either.
No, it was quite yummy. But one of our ulterior motives is always to come up here and ride the train.
I love the Heber Valley Railroad.
It's just so relaxing, beautiful, beautiful scenery, and this time of year, well, it's just worth coming up here and taking the ride.
I love this time of year. Everything in the valley is so green, and yet the mountains still have snow.
It's beautiful. It's always beautiful up here, but this time of year, well, it's just really special in the spring. It's also really special in the fall and in the summer.
Yes.
and like very few railroads operate all winter, but this one does, so you can ride it in the snow as well. This time of year, they run down to the Deer Creek Reservoir, and then they run around with the locomotive and come back to Heber. Other times of year, they go clear down the canyon to a place called Vivian Park.
That's my favorite. We used to take the students there at summer school.
That is so cool. And actually, this time of year, they start the run down to Vivian Park. So we should come back and do that.
We should. On the other side of the reservoir, there's a little resort over there for fishing and water skiing and boating.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of a marina or something. That's always fun. A lot of people come up here to fish. Even in the winter, they do ice fishing on this reservoir. This is the eastern side of the Wasatch. The western side they call the Wasatch Front, and this side they call the Wasatch Back.
It's really neat, though. I'd like to take the train one time all the way down to Vivian Park.
It's always fun to go down the canyon. The train used to go all the way down to Bridal Veil Falls.
Yes.
And Bridal Veil Falls is really spectacular, but the tracks are out between Vivian Park and Bridal Veil. But it's still just really, really fun to go down there. So let's come back and ride the train down to Vivian Park.
Let's do that.
Well, this was sure a lot of fun.
It was. I loved the food at the Dairy King.
It's always fun to go there, and as they get the locomotives done, we'll have to come up and see how that whole piece of business fits together.
Yes.
And have another burger.
Yes.
Ow.
Well, it's time to call it a day. I think we'll go to the park or
Novocaine wore off on the train, so it's time now to go home. But it was a fun train ride.
Yes, I mean,
It's-
it takes your mind off your troubles. I don't
it
care
does.
what you have hurting, a train ride helps.
Always worth riding a train, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's good. Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, do pop over to the channel. And if you're not a subscriber, do subscribe. And the easy way to subscribe is with the fancy newfangled subscribe button. Zoink! Right there says subscribe.
I know what a button it is.
And what a button. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here again in a few days. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.